Now, proof sheets. So this is used by photographers most of the time. Like if you want to provide a proof of the images that were taken for the clients to choose. Say for example, you've done a shoot, and obviously you don't want to give them all the photos. You want them to choose from the shots that you've done, the good ones and the ones that they want to use. Instead of giving them all the photos to look at, you create a proof sheet, and the proof sheet will protect obviously your photos, and at the same time, it's easier to for your clients to have a look. So what you do is you, in the situations like this, go to a library, all right, and what you do is you go down to the grid and get the images to be all in tile size, and you choose. Usually, like this is the whole shoot that I've done, so I'll normally choose all the photos. But usually, even before that, I'll just delete some of the bad photos. Obviously, because bad photos are just going to be taking up more space and more processing time and just more stuff for your client to look through. So I would delete all that, and then I'll just have all the good ones. And for the sake of this practice, I will just choose, say, half of my shots here, so we don't have to go through everything. Say for example, all these photos here, I want to send it to my client as a proof sheet. So what I'll do from there is, we are at the library, so we're going to go towards the end to print, okay, and we'll click print. Now when you click print, this is what I've set up before, 9 pictures in one page. Yeah, so I mean this is in an A4 size page, which means obviously this is not to size, but then if you make it to size, it's quite big. I mean, like, you can see it, and they can pretty much zoom in. So there's 2 ways. One is you can print all this picture out and give it to them to see, but then obviously doing that, you need a printer, and you need to, it's more marking around. But if you just want to quickly show them these pictures, you can just make it into a digital format as well. So to set this correctly, on the right there is the different ways of making this proof sheet as presentable as possible. So you can see that's under here, there's the margin, which means if you change that, you can see that, okay, that's the left margin. So if you want more space there, then you do that. If you want more space on the right, you do that. You know what I'm saying? So you can change all that. So that's just the margin, and the top and the bottom is pretty much similar, but usually we don't touch that. Then this is photo per grid. So how many photos do you want to add within that A4 size? So you can have that. If there's a lot of photos, then maybe you want to put 4 by 4, so then you can fit in 16, or you want it to be even more. So there is pretty much no limit here. You can put in as many as you want, but obviously the more you put in, the smaller the images will be, right? What I found is a 3 by 3 grid is quite good for most situations. But then again, as I said, this is up to you. You can change that whenever you want. Then obviously there is different things like the cell size. Don't worry about this. This is just, as you can see, if you change that, it's just going to make the cell bigger or smaller. So that's not very important. We'll go down to the next bit, which is the identity plate. So you can, if you click on that, you can have your name right in the middle there, or whatever that you want to put there. You can just put a certain name that's on the on the proof sheet so they know who's the owner. And you can change the size as well. Like you can change the size to much bigger if you want to, just as a branding. And you can change the opacity as well. So opacity 0 to 100, that's how it goes. Then there's the watermarking. If you want watermarking on it, then you press watermarking. If not, there, you can get it off. You see watermark?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the watermark is good to, again, add extra security on your proof images. And just like what we've shown you before, you can also edit your watermark again. So you can edit, you can just change it to a preset that you've done in the previous, or you can create a preset here as well, like I've shown you before. All right. So you just go to edit watermark if you want to change that, but we won't go there because we've done that. And then there's page option. So having numbers or no numbers at the bottom here, you can see. You can change the background color as well. I like to change it black, or you can have it white as well if you want to. So the whole page will be black, not just like that, but it will look black. Then font size. Now this font size is talking about the file name that's there. So if you increase the font size, you can see the file name is going to be bigger. It goes 6 to 16. So you want it to be large and big so that people can read and they can, because that's what they're going to give you at the end. They say, oh, I want number 9921 or whatever. Yeah. So the next thing is, it will say the next bit, which is the final bit, is the print job. Do you want to print it as a JPEG file, or do you want to print it in a printer? So this allows you to print directly if it's connected to a printer, print out as it is.
Yeah.
If not, print it as a JPEG file,
Digital.
which is digital. Draft mode of printing, that's if you want to do draft, don't worry about that, it's not important. Then there's the print sharpness, whether you want the print to be sharp or whatever in the proof. And these are just extra stuff, like say the JPEG quality, how high the quality you want that to be. And you don't have to have it at a really high quality if you're not going to print it. So you can get it up to say 70% or 60%, whatever. And that will just make sure that it's the quality. So you don't want the quality to be too high, because if it's too high, people can just steal it and then edit it and then use it without, you want it to be just enough. Then once that's done, you just go to, don't worry about all this color management stuff, it's not very important. Print to file, and you click on that. It will say, okay, where do you want to print it? So I've chosen back to the test folder, and I'll save it as, this guy's name is Chi, so Chi proofs, all right? And I'll just click save, and that is done. That indicates the progress, and once that's done, which is in a few more seconds, you will get the result, 3 pages of A4 paper in JPEG. Okay, so that's done. Now we go and have a look. So if we go back to the, let's just go to the hard disk. We go to the hard disk, and then we go to test one. Now we've got Chi proofs, and these are all the proofs that were produced just then, and you can see that, and you can see that this goes up there, and they can see it really quite close as well. They can look through the proofs one by one and then determine which one they want and just jot down the number.
Yeah.
Then once that's done, it's all good.
Just send it like that.
Yeah, and then you can just again send it in an email, because the size of these are not really big. Look at this, it's only like 636 kilobytes. So you can send all these. Say if you have more than this as well, you have 10 or 20 of these, it's still not going to be more than 10 megabyte or something, which means that you can send this through an email and say, look, here are your proofs. Tell us what you think. Because some people, they want to see it before they pay. And this is one way to say, look, this is what I've done. This, if it's all good, I'll proceed with the process of editing and stuff. And then once I get the payment, I'll send the rest to you.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
That's right.
Simple.